Hello everyone and welcome back to our English for this week. We're on Tuesday already and we're going to look at that story we were reading yesterday. Have a little think, what was it called? There's even a little clue on the screen there, that main character. Yeah, you're right, it was Little Red Riding Hood. So we're going to read the story again today and then we're going to see if we can use adjectives to describe the characters. Now that sounds like a very tricky thing to do, but let's have a little look at that. We know what characters are, don't we? Have a little think. Characters in a story. Those are the people that are in the story. They could be animals, and those are the thing that the story is about. We know the setting is where it happens, and the characters is who it happens to. And when we're describing the characters, we're trying to give a better picture of that character, trying to say maybe what they look like or what they sound like or what sort of personality they have. And that word adjectives is a type of word. So adjectives are words that describe things. They describe people or places or things. So you could say that the word red is an adjective because it's describing the colour of something. So we'll have a little look at that at the end of our story, but we'll read the story again. We'll see if there's any adjectives as we go through, and then we've got a little job to do at the end. So, Little Red Riding Hood. Now the name of the story itself has two adjectives in. Little, meaning that something is small, and red, because the hood that she is wearing is red. It's a Little Red Riding Hood. Okay. Once upon a time there was a girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her mother in a village near a forest. Now have a little think, and you can pause the video in a moment if you think you need to. Can you think of any word that might describe the forest? You could think of things like the word dark or scary, or maybe you might think of a green forest or a pretty forest or a cold forest or a big forest. It's another word to describe the forest that we can add in, one of those adjectives. Okay, one day Little Red Riding Hood went to visit her grandmother. She took a basket of food with her. Oh, now, there isn't an adjective to describe the food there, but see if you can think of a word that might describe those cakes. And just looking at them is making me feel hungry. So what do you think you could use to describe those cakes? Are they horrible cakes? Disgusting cakes? Yummy cakes? Delicious cakes? Which word would you use to describe them? Lovely, and that word is an adjective. That word that we use in front of the word cake, yummy, delicious, would tell us what the cake was like. It's an adjective. On her way, Little Red Riding Hood met a wolf. "Hello," said the wolf. "Where are you going?" "I'm going to visit my grandmother who lives in the forest," explained Little Red Riding Hood. Now again, we haven't got a word to describe this wolf, but I bet if I give you just 10 seconds, I bet you could come up with two at least fabulous adjectives that you could use to describe the wolf. 2 words to describe the wolf. Ready? Go. 5 seconds to go. And stop. Did you manage it? Okay, let's move on. The wolf ran to her grandmother's house. He went inside and locked her in the wardrobe. He put on her nightgown and got into her bed. A little later, Little Red Riding Hood came to the house. She knocked on the door, then went inside. Little Red Riding Hood went over to Grandmother's bed. "Oh, Granny, what big ears you have," she said. All the better to hear you with," answered the wolf. Sorry guys, I nearly forgot their voice then. It was a very squeaky wolf to begin with. "Oh, Granny, what big eyes you have," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with," replied the wolf. Now can you remember those really good adjectives you used to describe the wolf? You could use those there, couldn't you? "All the better to see you with," replied the scary wolf. have?" said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to eat you with," said the wolf. And if you look there, I wonder if you can spot in that top line the adjective. I'll give you a clue. It's the word that's describing the teeth. "Oh, Granny, what big teeth you have." Which word is describing the teeth? Yeah, you're right, it's that word big on the top line. "Help!" shouted Little Red Riding Hood as she realised that there was a wolf in her grandmother's bed. She ran out of the house. A woodcutter was nearby. He heard Little Red Riding Hood scream and ran to the house. The woodcutter hit the wolf over the head. The wolf ran away and Little Red Riding Hood never saw him again. Okay, so you've done a really good job of listening out for some of the adjectives and adding in some adjectives. Now, we've got the 4 characters here on our page, and we've also got some words underneath, and you've got this same page in your work pack. Now, it says at the top you can cut out the words and stick them next to the right character, but you could also just write them if that's easier. So all you need to do is have a look at those words along the bottom and see if you can find maybe 3 words to describe each one of those characters. So let's do Little Red Riding Hood together. Let's have a look at some of those words and see if we can decide which one we think might describe Little Red Riding Hood. So if I just highlight this one here, this one says the word gentle. Do we think that the word gentle describes Little Red Riding Hood? And if you think the answer is yes, then you would be able to write that next to Little Red Riding Hood. And I think probably the answer would be yes, because she does seem to be quite gentle. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. The next word is the word scary. Scary. Now, do we think the character of Little Red Riding Hood is scary? Are we a bit scared of her? Are we afraid of her? I think you're probably right. I don't think we are scared of Little Red Riding Hood. Which other character do you think scary might fit with? If you're not sure, just pause the video and have a think. I think probably it would be the wolf, wouldn't it? The wolf might be scary, but I don't think that Little Red Riding Hood is. So we'd write scary next to the wolf, but we wouldn't write it next to Little Red Riding Hood. And this next word down here, this word night dress, isn't an adjective because it's not describing anything, but it is telling us something about one of the characters. It's what one of the characters is wearing. A night dress is like a dress that you might wear to go to bed in, like a nightie or your pyjamas, but it looks a bit like a dress. So even from these pictures, you might be able to guess already who that might go with. I don't think it's going to be Little Red Riding Hood. She's going for a walk in the forest. Don't think she'd be wearing a night dress. But there's definitely one character that wears a night dress, and actually you could possibly say there was 2 characters that wear a night dress. Yeah, I think Grandma wears a night dress because we know that then the wolf steals the night dress to put on when Little Red Riding Hood comes round to the house. So you could put that word next to either of those 2 characters. So your job today, when this video is finished, is to go through all the rest of the words that are on this sheet of paper, and you can decide where they go. You can either do all of them or you can just do 3 words for each different character. You can cut them out and stick them on, or you can write them yourself. It's up to you which is easier for you. So today we've been thinking about adjectives to describe the characters, and you're going to now go away and have a think about putting those adjectives and those words next to the right character. When you're done, if you want to take a photograph, you can send it through to me on the email, or you can put it on our Facebook group, or you can just pop it back in your pack, and when you bring it back into me next week, I can have a little look at it. If you've got any questions, just email me and I will do my very best to answer them as quickly as I can. And otherwise, go and have a go at that little job and enjoy the rest of your day. Work hard, everybody. Bye.